Picture the scene. It's midway through 2021 and a coin that no one had ever even heard of before, started around $19, suddenly decided to break towards the upside, and in the space of just a couple of weeks, shot all the way up over 900%. Now guys, this is a coin that you will know of if you're in crypto. This is a coin that is announcing some incredible new things. I'm now making my biggest ever bet into Solana because I believe something very similar is going to be happening in the coming few months. Hit the like button. Let's get into this video. Now there's something extremely important we need to point out before diving into this video into Solana. Crypto right now is a little bit of a confusing place. There's a lot of information that, we're waiting for the bull market, we're waiting for the bear market, we're waiting for a recession, we're waiting for the halving, all this narrative. And all of this narrative is there to confuse you, obviously. Right now, we could well be, and in my opinion, we are in the early stages of a bull market. On the flip side of things, we could be rolling over into a brutal bear market. The truth is, no one knows for sure. And therefore, we must be able to make decisions based on either eventuality happening. And the way I can do that, and the way I am going to do that, is by identifying coins, such as Solana, that are making a name for themselves now, or have already made a name for themselves, are undervalued right now, and will survive even if there is an absolutely horrific, bloodbath event. Like previously there was COVID, caused a black swan event. Who knows, maybe a global recession, whatever. Would Solana survive it? Absolutely, and I'm going to show you exactly why it would right now. As we come across to this post here by Alex Wasey, which I did post on a video yesterday, and I definitely recommend checking him out over on twitter.com because he's got some really good stuff. He talks about Solana having more active addresses than many of the other top 10 chains, daily revenue currently being around $20,000 per day, not game-changing by any means, but still showing that it's making good returns and it's able to build on that. And there's also a total value locked standing at $308 million, which, given the size of the market cap, is not necessarily enormous, but still pretty positive. But there's other very exciting things going on. Here's another one that's very important before we talk about the main piece that is getting me very excited about Solana right now. And Solana's booming NFT sector lure in more users. Well, something very important happened during the summer while not a lot else was going on, and NFT minting on the Solana blockchain has surged to 15.6 million. This broke records in the NFT space, and this is really important because only around 82 SOL was generated in fees from this, and you're like, well, that's not very important, it's not making money. Agreed on that side of things. However, it's extremely important how they're able to deal with this number of NFTs. Now, as we look into the future, NFTs, I don't believe are going to be your profile picture, are going to be like profile pictures of dogs and apes and whatever else, but it's actually going to be likely things like passports, things like legal documents for housing. Pretty much everything is going to go through NFTs, in my opinion. And right now we're seeing Solana show that it's able to deal with that in a very succinct way. There's various other people as well who are starting to recognize what's going on with Sol. And I talked about this earlier in the year, pretty much one of the last videos I made at the end of 2022, where I talked about Chris Bernisk, who used to be the CEO of ARK Investors. Okay, he's a veteran crypto investor, and he talks about in this basically the relationship between Sol and the battle between Solana and ETH. And he says that Ethereum obviously is still the daddy, but Solana has a much better opportunity going forward in that it's likely to win and gain ground on Ethereum. I don't believe it's an Ethereum killer, and like Chris Bernisk here, he's saying that both of these coins can exist together. There's no reason why they can't both coexist, and it doesn't have to be one versus the other. Now, obviously, they do compete in a number of different ways, but that's not necessarily such a negative thing. Just what we're looking for is really, and why this is a bigger bet for me than Ethereum, because I believe Solana is going to make better ground than Ethereum. I don't believe it's going to have a market cap bigger than Ethereum by the end of the next bull market, although I could be wrong. A number of other people are starting to voice out about Solana right now. Coin Bureau Guy Turner also starting to bring up Solana in various different videos and things like that. This is really weird because for the last year or so, Solana has been very, very quiet. And Solana has been very, very quiet for a number of different reasons. And this again plays into why I think it's such an important holding in my personal portfolio. And it's not just because of all the good things that it's doing, but it's because of its valuation right now compared with the valuation of other cryptos. Now, I do believe pretty much all cryptos are now approaching oversold, undervalued territory, which means eventually people will start to accumulate and then the prices come back up. But Solana is lower on that scale than it should be because it's been through a number of different bad things. Data breaches. Also, the most significant one of all was it got tied up in that Alameda Research FTX stuff at the end of last year. That was pretty much the catalyst that caused the last bear market, or the bottom of the bear market, in my opinion, according to my narrative, that we've had that bear market. Therefore, Solana still is unable to get back to where it should be right now because it's still squashed down and undervalued. But it's a coin. But even that said, it's still surviving in that position right now. And that's a very exciting thing because it's kind of going under the radar. A lot of people have forgotten about it and cast it away, saying that, it's no good because of all the FTX stuff. We got tied up in FTX, but it had nothing to really do with FTX other than the fact that the owner of FTX was heavily invested in this project. Whilst that had a big impact on the price, it doesn't really have an impact on the overall integrity of the project, especially as far as investors are concerned. Now, into the big piece of news and the real turning point for me that's really getting me really quite excited about Solana, and actually why I think we are seeing Solana trending across Twitter and everywhere else today, is because of this. Shopify, which if you, like me, have tried to build Shopify stores in the past and miserably failed, let me know down below what you were trying to sell. Shopify accounts for 10% of US e-commerce, $440 billion worth of global economic activity. What does that really mean? Well, 10% of the US e-commerce economy is enormous because obviously Amazon is the giant that came out of America, and you've got all those other companies out there as well that are providing various online shopping. eBay being one. Shopify accounts for 10% of all of that, and now they're partnering up with Solana in order to enable for transactions and fees. The average cost per transaction using Solana Pay is 1.5%, is $0.00025, whereas using credit cards for PayPal, etc., 2.5%. Now, here's the scenario. If you are shopping online and you go to your checkout, you're now met by a potential for a payment and added on, like, by the way, this is going to cost you $2.5 more on your $100 purchase. Or if you want to set up Solana Pay and use Solana Pay, then you're going to be able to do this for pretty much free, okay? What are you going to do? Now, even if you don't know anything about crypto and you don't really know what Solana Pay is, a lot of people will be like, well, I don't really want to pay that $3. I'll just do this and set this up. This is where mass adoption comes from. Mass adoption doesn't come from people learning about crypto. Mass adoption comes from people not learning about crypto, but needing to use it because it gives them a benefit they didn't even know possible. That is what I think is going to be absolutely enormous for Solana. And this is another very exciting string to the bow that's coming on here. Imagine, off the back of this, that they then get involved in Amazon payments and all sorts of other things. And then in the future, who knows exactly where it's going to go. Solana have always been very strong in terms of their marketing, and they do build hype moving into the bull market. While right now there's a lot of people giving it a lot of hate, actually I always look to go towards the hate, okay? Because the more you focus on those, the more you're going to find the undervalued assets rather than the ones everyone's hyping up right now that perhaps shouldn't be hyped up quite as hard as they are. Not mentioning any names. But this is why this is one of my biggest holdings in the portfolio. And if we jump across to the charts, I'll show you exactly what is going on that's very exciting right now. Now, before we look at Solana, let's just look at Bitcoin. A lot of people were anticipating, that we are sort of in bear market territory. People are behaving almost like we're in bear market territory, but let me remind you, we are still in an uptrend. This year does have a little bit of a bearish feeling around it, and I think that that's potentially designed to be that way. I think this kind of like little pump and dump, while people are saying this was a liquidity grab, I do think that this could potentially just be something to kind of shake out people thinking that, yeah, we're going to roll over and this is going to happen. I'm not saying that can't happen, but right now I still think we're holding strong in this buy zone here. We're still just retesting this previous shoulder, head and shoulder pattern here. We've got a third one. Maybe we will end up having a rollover. Who knows exactly? Okay. But as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to Solana looks very, very positive. And that's why, especially after we've just seen this, I'm getting very excited. Okay. I have been accumulating, and if you are subscribed to my channel, you'll know that I was buying Solana literally back here, and I've been trying to add to my positions every time we've been getting these pullbacks. This pullback came in a little further than anticipated, but then obviously this was my buy zone I'd drawn on here, and I was buying in again. Now I've identified another buy zone, which you can see here because of these big candles showing the buying pressure. We arrive back into this zone, we get bought up. It's only likely, in my opinion, of course, that we're going to continue to get bought up in here. If Bitcoin sees a bounce from where it is, we're going to see Solana breaking beyond this area here. Remember, I am also aware that if I buy into Solana right now and it rolls over and we get new lows coming down to around $8, then I'm not going to be sad about it, because I know that Solana, given all the things that are happening, have the ability to survive this no matter how bad and how gloomy it gets, and come all the way back up again, okay? If it gets down there, then great news. I will continue to accumulate. That's why either you have to have yourself some good cash flow coming in, or you have to stock some cash aside so that if this does happen, you have always some USD to get into these projects. That's not financial advice, of course. This is just what I do and why I do it, okay? I will continue to accumulate, but especially in here. Right now what you need to be looking at is like a 2, 3, 4x from any crypto that you're buying into. Solana, better than most for that opportunity right now. Why am I saying you only need 2, 3, 4x? I'm obviously not anticipating getting that for the whole crypto market, but to be aiming for home runs on any crypto you're picking right now, it's just silly, guys. You should just be looking to build your pot bit by bit, taking profits as you go, and this is really how you win, rather than just anticipating the 50x or the 100x moves to come out of any crypto that we're looking at, because most of those 50x, 100x's are going to come out of cryptos that you probably never even heard the name of yet, but we want to be getting into those later on into next year or into the year after, when really things might start to get heated for the kind of small cap altcoin world. Now, I'm accumulating in this area for Solana. Where do I think Solana is going to go? Well, I do think if we compare this chart to Ethereum, we can see something very interesting. Now on top we've got Solana, and on the bottom we've got Ethereum. And I think you'll know we both have a peak, we get a trough, a peak, and then we roll over. And look down below, we get Ethereum, we get a peak, we get a trough, we get a drop, peak up to here, and then we drop down below. And then we get pretty much similar patterns playing out. And you can see this happens, and eventually it rolls over, and then it moves into another cycle. Now you probably have realized that this is not Ethereum right now. This was Ethereum back in 2018, the bull market before the last bull market. And from that top, you can see that Ethereum then did, from here, a whopping 258%. Now, obviously, this is a different coin and it's a different scenario, but there's always potential that this can happen. And if Solana does something like a 258% gain from its previous all-time high, then you're going to see it go up to around $920, which from current levels to 920 shows a 46x. That happened in Ethereum. 46x is possible in Solana, given where it is in the market and given all of these things that are going on. Now, I know lots of people don't agree with me, and I'm not really here to argue because I don't really care one way or the other. I made a video yesterday talking about all these opinions and how everyone has one, and they're just noise, guys. Cheapest commodities in the world. The only thing you can come up with is a plan that works for you and a risk-reward system that works for you as well. So go and do your own research. And I don't mean just go and watch more YouTube videos. I mean, go and delve into the details, get across on Twitter, find out more information, and really start to understand what is really happening with this coin, whether you can see the upside I can see, because it's not for you. Now, right now, I know it's confusing. A lot of these cryptos you're looking into can be really difficult to know whether or not you're going to get good profits from. But if you want to find out more information about what I'm buying, what other people are buying, then get across to the Inner Circle Discord. And it's linked down below. It's just $9.99 per month with a 5-day free trial. Before you click off, though, there's something else that's really important. We've also been raising funds through a pre-ICO venture capital fund running through the House of Crypto. And this allows us to buy into projects before they even launch pre-ICO. We've literally been raising for a project just last week, which next round will be getting launched onto Binance. The average for projects doing that is 190x from the pre-ICO valuation. So you could potentially get an average 190x return, obviously no guarantees because it is crypto, just by paying $9.99 per month and being a member of the Inner Circle. Link down below. You'll also get access to various different chats daily analysis from a bunch of expert traders, information on NFTs, and so much other stuff that you can't even imagine for just $9.99, 5-day free trial. Make sure you go through the link down below in the description, and I'll see you over on the other side. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.